Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my performance review of the Anta GH5, and GH stands for Gordon Hayward. So yeah, I mean, I posted these on Instagram and you guys are like, why does Gordon Hayward have a signature shoe? I don't know, but he does, and Anta makes some pretty amazing shoes. For example, the Kyrie Irving signature shoe, super nice. The Zap 1, Dante DiVincenzo, he has a signature shoe, I don't know why, but he does, but he's a very nice performer. So let's see if the GH5 is a good performer. So if you guys do want to cop, I try to leave in a free link in the description box. It is available on Fimuji for 110 bucks. And it does help me out if you do choose to get the shoe, if you buy it from the link in the description box. And as always, thank you guys so much for all the support. But yeah, let's see if Gordon Hayward's signature shoe is good. You know, for example, the GH 1, 2, 3, and 4 were all amazing. Amazing performers. Very solid. Super underrated shoes as well. So we'll have to see on the 5, right? So let's get it started off with the traction. You know, this traction is not good. Very disappointed, right? So when I first got it was bad. Like, it just was not getting a good bite. I wasn't sliding around dangerously and it wasn't like terrible, but I was just like, you know, when I was going to first stop, I would just like move a little bit and just not have a great bite, you know what I mean? Once I broke it in, however, it started to get a little bit better, right? And when I was playing on a cleaner court, it was really nice, but also it's not really affected by dust that much. It didn't pick up that much dust. It just had the same type of performance on a cleaner court and also on a dirty court, you know what I mean? It's just like not that good of a bite. And once you break it in, it just gets a little bit better, but still not amazing, you know what I mean? So I would say it's a pretty good bite, but it's consistent on most floors on like a dusty and clean court, so that's a good thing. And we have this very aggressive, like enlarged herringbone traction pattern. And also, by the way, it is a mismatched colorway, which is pretty cool. With this kind of like traction pattern, it kind of reminds me of smear traction from like the GT Cut 2 and the Kyrie 8. It also kind of reminds me of the Zap 1. So yeah, Zap 1 is Anta. So I was thinking maybe they were trying to do something similar to that, you know, with very raised grooves. And then in between the grooves, we have some more grooves. And these grooves are really thin. They're just lines. So I feel like that will just like rip off on an outdoor court. And I guess where the actual herringbone is, like the thicker parts, that'll be good for outdoor use. But the smaller, thinner grooves inside of the herringbone, probably not the best, right? So yeah, the traction was a little bit of a disappointment, right? I mean, I guess it was good that it wasn't sliding out like crazy or dangerously or anything, but just wasn't that good of a bite. Moving on to the heel to toe transition, overall it is pretty dang smooth. So here in the heel we have a nice curved shape, as you guys can see, right? So that feels really nice. And also, even though it is super caged, the cage isn't very stiff, so it allows for a little bit of compression, which does feel nice. And then coming into the forefoot, we got a nice rocker shape. So look at this shape, guys. Really smooth heel to toe transition from the shape. And also in the forefoot we have a nice bit of flex and rebound back. So that feels really nice. It feels springy, especially out of the first step, and also doing heel dominant strides down the court. Like, it just kind of springs you forward, right? Also, we can see the carbon fiber midfoot chain plate. It doesn't seem like it's full length. Probably like kind of stops in the middle of the outsole here, but it is carbon fiber, which is great, I guess. But overall, heel to toe transition is really nice, right? And now moving on to the cushioning setup. So like I mentioned before, we got the KT9, which is from Anta. We got the Kai 1, the Zap 1. They all use full length N2 foam, and they are all very nice, right? But the GH5, I feel like they wanted to make a little bit more of a responsive setup, a little bit stiffer setup, which in my opinion, I don't like as much, because first of all, the Zap 1 is still extremely responsive, you know what I mean? There's still nice compression in the heel, and there's a very nice soft mesh struggle board, which makes a step and cover really nice too. But you know, you still have really good court feel, right? The N2 foam is not even that thick, so it's not super mushy feeling or anything. So the Zap 1 is like perfect for me. It's really nice, right? But they made it stiffer than the Zap 1. And in my opinion, they did a little too much stiffen it up. You know what I mean? So first of all, the insole's okay, you know what I mean? It's just like it's kind of thick, but it's not super foamy or anything. But then underneath that, we have it's not a soft mesh show board, so it's not super soft, but then when you feel it, actually there is a nice little compression, so it's kind of soft, you know what I mean? But you know, it's a little bit stiffer than the soft mesh board. And also, it's freaking hella caged. You know what I mean? So the Zap one is a little bit caged, but there's still nice compression. The Kai one, same thing. There's a lot of compression. But then in the GH5, we have this kind of rubber cage. And like I said, it is a little bit soft. It's not super stiff, so it allows for a little bit of compression, but it is stiffer than the other shoes like the Kai ones. So yeah, core feels really great though. And I feel like they made the foam like a little bit too thin. I mean, the core feels really nice, which I do like, but they made it a little bit too thin, which makes it a little bit stiffer and there's not as much compression. I mean, there's a nice little bounce because it's caged, but it is a more responsive and stiffer ride, which I guess, you know, if you want that and you like that, that's a good thing. And I would say it's better than most cushioning setups with like this type of court feel, right? The court feel is really good because usually with a very thin foam with really good court feel, you don't get really good cushion. And the GH5 I would say is pretty nice for how low to the ground you are. However, in my personal opinion, I think they stiffened it up a little bit too much, right? But overall impact protection is adequate. Step and comfort overall is pretty dang nice and comfortable. And there is a nice little bounce from the actual like foam midsole, like where the cage is. So overall it is pretty dang nice, but in my personal opinion, it's a little too stiff, you know? So there is the cushioning setup there. Moving on to the upper. So the upper quality is actually pretty nice as well. We have this very open kind of like textile material, I would say. It's like this plastic material, and yeah, it's like this milky color, right? And then underneath that we have another mesh material, right? It's a different color in both of the shoes. It's red for the right pair and blue for the left. But yeah, it's extremely thin here in the toe box, but then there are a couple of layers of fuse, right? So we can see this layer of fuse. Seems like it's kind of like underneath this textile material, and then over that we have another layer of fuse, right? So of course it'll be good for durability and support. And also if you do toe drags, we have a little bit more plastic here. So that's good, I guess, right? But yeah, it feels really nice, very minimal, conforms to your foot very well, and overall pretty dang supportive. So that feels nice in the toe box. And then here in the midfoot, look at how thin it is. Very, very thin, but also there are some plastic pieces where the eyelets are, so that stiffens up the material a little bit, adding for a little bit more support. And then for the tongue, we have a nice bit of padding, so it does feel kind of cozy. And then it's also a half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And then here in the ankle area on the sides, there's pretty much no padding, but there is a singular kind of Achilles pad. It kind of cups in as well, which is going to be really good for lockdown, but that feels really nice on the Achilles, right? But overall, it's a really minimal upper that feels really nice on foot, and overall honestly does feel extremely nice for quality. And also I do like the textile material here in the ankle area. We have a pretty cool design on it, and it's also glow in the dark, which is pretty dang cool, right? So there is the upper there. Moving on to the fit, I went true to size, and this shoe fits me extremely snugly and extremely well because I like a snug fit in my hoop shoes. But just be careful, if you don't like a really snug fit, then probably go up half a size, right? But I went true to size, and here in the toe box, oh my gosh, it's extremely snug. Width-wise also, it is kind of narrow, and length-wise, going true to size, I was good to go. So yeah, if you want a really snug fit, then go true to size. If you want a little bit more roomy, then probably go up half a size. And if you have a very wide foot, or you want a really roomy fit, probably go up a full size. But for me, it's a really nice snug fit, going true to size. And now moving on to the support in lockdown, overall pretty dang good, right? So for lateral containment, we can see this plastic piece. It not only cages the cushion, but also you can see a little bit of the plastic coming up, right? With this kind of colored line, this red line. There's a little bit more plastic coming up here in the forefoot, here in the midfoot, and also here in the heel. And there's an internal TPU heel counter, and we have the Anta logo here in the heel, which looks pretty cool. So lateral containment, my foot was not coming out of the footbed at all. So overall support, really, really nice, right? And also my foot wasn't moving inside of the shoe that much either, especially since it's a really snug fit, right? There wasn't that much dead play or anything, so my foot wasn't moving around inside of the shoe. Also, lateral stability is really good. Look at how wide the shoe is. You can see the outrigger right here. I love this, right? Lateral stability is really, really nice because of that. And like I mentioned before, because of the cupped kind of shape in here in the heel with the Achilles pad, a heel lockdown is really nice in the shoe too. So overall support in lockdown is really, really good. And even if you're a bigger dude, you should be fine with the shoe. And I really like how good the support is, even though they're using a really thin material, right? So there is a support in lockdown. Now moving on to the weight of the shoe, I feel like it'll be a pretty light, right? So yeah, 11.35 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. 11.4 ounces, right? So the average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So that's like an ounce lighter than average, and which is pretty dang light. And it feels really light on foot, and also very minimal because there's not that much padding on the upper, and also nothing's really like protruding out like crazy, so it doesn't even feel bulky at all. And because of how low to the ground you are, it doesn't even feel bottom heavy either. So yeah, it feels really nice on foot. I love how the shoe feels. Overall, I do like the cushioning setup, even though it's like on the stiffer side of things. Upper is thin and stuff like that. The only thing I didn't like, of course, is the traction, right? The traction, I mean, it was pretty good, you know what I mean? But not even like solid, you know? So I just wish the traction was better. And now moving on to the aesthetics, I really like it. I do like the overall simple design, especially in this colorway. You know, we have this mismatch like red and blue color with the overall white kind of upper. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, I really like the shoe overall. Like everything about the shoe is really nice besides the traction, you know what I mean? And like I said, it wasn't terrible to the point where I was like slipping out. It wasn't dangerous or anything, but I just never got an amazing bite. So that's one reason why I didn't really like playing the shoe. And that was pretty much the only reason, right? The cushion, even though it is on the stiffer side of things, it's still pretty dang nice, especially for how low to the ground you are. The upper's minimal. Its overall support is really good as well. And it fits me extremely well too. So I really like this shoe and I really wanted to like it, but it's just like traction is just so important to me. And if the traction isn't good, I can't really like that shoe, you know what I mean? So anyways, obviously this is more geared towards guards, you know, with the lighter construction and overall minimal design on the upper. It's more geared towards guards, you know what I mean? If you're quick and you want to feel responsive, traction needs to be there. So it's kind of hard recommending this shoe towards guards. However, if you're a bigger dude, I feel like you should be fine, you know what I mean? Like support's great, cushion overall, I feel like impact protection you're gonna be covered, you know? And if you're just like doing post-up moves, you don't really need really good traction, and I feel like this shoe has you covered for that. So I feel like if you're a bigger dude, probably this is a good option. For guards, not the best option, you know what I mean? So anyways, that about concludes my performance review of the Anta GH5. A little bit of a bummer because I really want to like this shoe. Again, if you guys do want to copy, try to leave and link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.